Howdy folks, Gerry here and welcome back. Today is Saturday, November 16, 2024. I'm currently on the coast off the beautiful city of Cannes, France, aboard the NCL Escape. The temperature right now is about 18 degrees Celsius or 64 degrees Fahrenheit. We're on the last leg of our 9-day Western Mediterranean cruise. We disembarked from Barcelona, Spain, and visited Ibiza, Palma de Mallorca, Cagliari, Sardinia, and then Italy, Naples, Rome, and Livorno, where you can visit Florence and Pisa. Finally, the last port is Cannes, France. So if you're interested in visiting these historic landmarks, join me on this video. You might discover why it's the perfect choice for your next vacation. Stay tuned.
Our cruise package included round-trip flights to Barcelona, Spain, where NCL's Western Mediterranean cruise begins. When we arrived in Barcelona and collected our luggage, we located NCL's designated meeting point at the airport's arrivals hall. Keep in mind, any information desk will point you in the right direction. Once you've connected with the NCL's representatives, they'll verify that you're on their passengers list, collect your luggage, and guide you to the shuttle service that will transport you and your luggage to the cruise port. The shuttle ride to the port will take roughly 30 minutes, depending on traffic. As you near the cruise port, you'll bus over the Patroli Bridge and get a scenic view of the ship and port areas. Exiting the shuttle, it was a huge relief to not have to worry about our luggage. They were being transported directly from the bus to the ship. However, Embarkation Day at the Barcelona port was bustling, and thousands of eager travelers formed lines that stretched along the terminal. Despite the wait, there was a palpable sense of anticipation in the air. The wait time varies, but the shared excitement and the breathtaking view of the massive ship made the experience memorable. Plus, the NCL staff worked efficiently to ensure the check-in process moved as smoothly as possible, getting you closer to your unforgettable journey on the Mediterranean Sea. Once you receive your cruise card, also known as your room card key, you can start heading towards La Plaza for gifts, toiletries, and your first photo gallery portrait. Let's head to the ship. As you step on board, you'll present your cruise card, which doubles as your room key, and on-board credit card. The security staff will scan you in. Once you're through security, ask any crew member where to locate your muster drill station. The muster drill on the Norwegian Escape ensures all passengers are prepared for emergencies. Part of your required online check-in process is to watch a safety video before boarding. Once on board, your key card is scanned during check-in at your assigned muster drill station. This process helps you know exactly what to do and where to go in case of an emergency, making your cruise experience safer and more enjoyable. Now you're all set to enjoy your trip with peace of mind. Want to relax and have a drink while you settle in and get information about the ship? Head to the atrium on Deck 6. A crash course presentation will provide quick information and guidance while the embarkation process continues. While waiting for your stateroom to become available, you can explore the ship's exciting amenities and activities. Grab a bite to eat at one of the many restaurants and cafes, or unwind by the pool with a refreshing drink. Check out the bars and lounges for a cocktail or coffee, or participate in onboard activities like trivia and dance classes. Before you know it, your stateroom will be ready. Here's a quick look at our room. The balcony stateroom is located on the aft end of the ship, starboard side. The balcony is about 22 square feet, a decent space to enjoy the ocean views. These staterooms average about 250 square feet, or 23 square meters. Surprisingly, there's decent closet space and lots of storage space throughout. The bathroom is a standard size. Alright folks, the embarkation process is completed on time. The ship's engines are humming, the gangway has retracted, and the Norwegian Escape has slowly eased away from the dock. We are now casting off from the Barcelona port. As you can notice, the Escape is moving backwards, a stern-first maneuver when the passage is narrow. The Norwegian Escape is a majestic cruise ship. Passengers line the rails, waving goodbye and enjoying the views as we leave the bustling port and head out towards the open sea. It's the beginning of our adventure. The Norwegian Escape spans 20 decks. It was built in 2015 and refurbished in 2022. Another refurbishment is scheduled for 2025. The Escape accommodates up to 4,266 passengers, along with 1,733 crew members, providing a favorable crew-to-passenger ratio of 1 to 2.5, ensuring personalized service and attention for all. Day 1 was a long day of traveling. Now that the evening sun has dipped below the horizon and we've enjoyed a wonderful dinner, we can relax on our balcony and watch Barcelona vanish on the quiet seas. Good morning! We've arrived at the beautiful port of Ibiza, Spain. The Escape is gliding into the harbor, and we're greeted by Ibiza's skyline and the historic Dalt Villa fortress on the hilltop. The island of Ibiza, as the Spaniards pronounce it, has approximately 163,000 full-time residents. However, Ibiza's tourism attracts over 3 million tourists a year. The captain has announced that passengers may now begin the disembarkation process. There are clearly marked signs directing guests to Deck 4 for disembarkation. Security will scan your cruise card for identification. The gangways funnel guests onto the dock, which heads towards the shuttle area for booked excursions or shuttles into town. Because the port of Ibiza is on the southern edge of the island, shuttles are provided to transport guests to the heart of Ibiza. Although the ride is less than 15 minutes, there's another 15-minute walk into town. but it allows for picture taking and admiring the Bay Area. The seaside promenade is a popular spot for leisurely strolls, offering stunning views of the Mediterranean Sea, charming shops, and a variety of cafes and restaurants. The promenade provides convenient access to Ibiza town and to the historic old town of the Villa Fortress. Walking through the marina area, we stopped to admire commemorative monuments and the charm of the historic buildings. A couple blocks up is the popular and beautiful Parc de la Reina Sofia. In its center is the monument to Christopher Columbus, commemorating the historical significance of maritime exploration and defense. Down Calle de Vicente Cuervo is an open and relaxing courtyard filled with cafes, shops, and vendors. We picked a lively cafe in the warming sun called Madagascar and ordered a couple Americanos and started posting many of our pictures online. It was peaceful watching the courtyard come to life. We paid our bill using the colorful euros and continued our adventure through the charming streets of Ibiza town. We were greeted by historic architecture and quaint neighborhoods as we came upon the majestic walls of the Villa Fortress. Villa, which translates to Upper Town, is a stunning ancient fortress located in Ibiza town. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and stands as one of the best preserved coastal fortresses in the Mediterranean. The fortress dates back to the 16th century, built by the order of King Philip II of Spain to protect the island from invaders. The fortress covers about 32 acres, so there's lots to see. I highly recommend checking it out. However, we have a time restriction on the island, so we're going to start heading back to the shuttle's pickup point. Good early morning! Today we have an excursion to see the landmarks and landscapes of Palma de Mallorca, Spain. The tour group gathered in the Escape Theater for guest check-in. We were effortlessly guided to our shuttle station, where we were greeted by our driver and tour guide, who was extremely informative and helpful. Our first stop visited Belver Castle, which sits on a hilltop overlooking the city center. The castle was built in the 14th century for King James II of Mallorca. The castle is perched about 3 kilometers west of the city center and offers stunning panoramic views of Palma. It's one of the few circular castles in Europe. Stop 2 was up in the Tramuntana Mountains of Mallorca to visit Valldemossa, a historical village that's over 2,100 years old. We established our meeting point and began exploring the enchanting village of Valldemossa. We strolled through the narrow cobblestone streets. You can literally feel the history in the charming stone houses. And yet the town accommodates a flood of tourists with souvenir shops and cafes, while holding strong to their historical and architectural pride. As we head to our third destination, we pass acres upon acres of olive tree groves. Amongst them is the abuelo, grandfather, an olive tree that's estimated to be 800 years old. Stop 3 is Mirador es Colomer, a stunning lookout point offering dramatic views of the sea and the rugged coastline. The Mirador was built on a high cliff, and it's one of the most scenic spots on the island, providing a perfect place to take the vast expanse of the Mediterranean Sea. We continue our drive through the Serra de Tramuntana, a majestic mountain range that forms Palma's northern backbone. We're nearing Destination 4, the village of Port de Soler, a picturesque village nestled in a large horseshoe bay. The charming seaside retreat is known for its beautiful sandy beach and historic fishing harbor. Destination 5 is our final stop, but the highlight of the tour, the Cathedral of Santa Maria of Palma, commonly known as Laçu. This magnificent cathedral is a stunning example of Levantine Gothic architecture, characterized by its soaring columns and beautiful rose window. Laçu receives approximately 13 million visitors a year. Laçu is situated on the seafront, offering breathtaking views of the Mediterranean Sea. The cathedral houses the mausoleums of King James II and King James III of Mallorca. Construction of Laçu took approximately 350 years to complete. The cathedral is renowned for its 14-meter diameter rose window, one of the largest in the world. Around Laçu Cathedral, you'll find open courtyards and a mix of shops, cafes, and attractions. It's a short walk to the charming Plaza de la Almoina, which hosts several cafes and restaurants, perfect for a relaxing meal or coffee. Palma itself is a vibrant and lively town, making it a perfect spot to explore and enjoy the local culture. Good morning, and welcome to the port city of Cagliari on the island of Sardinia, Italy. Sardinia attracts over 6 million tourists a year, and the capital city of Cagliari has a rich history that dates back over 5,000 years. Today, we don't have an excursion. We wanted to explore Cagliari on our own, so let's head out and explore. Have your cruise cards ready to scan, and careful exiting the gangway. We're heading to the shuttle, but be sure to look back at the ship. I'm always in awe of how majestic and large these cruise ships are. Shuttles were provided to the port's gate, and a short walk takes you into the city. However, you can wait for local transportation if you wish. Cagliari feels like stepping back in time. The large rectangular stones that pave the streets create a rustic vibe, and you can almost feel the history beneath your feet. Facing the coastline is the Castillo district, which is part of the Old Town. As you stroll through the main corridor of the Castillo district, the historic charm is visible. The old stone buildings have residential floors above, and the ground floors are bustling with activity, housing quaint cafes and local businesses that breathe new energy into these ancient structures. The Castillo district in Cagliari is a maze of narrow streets, alleys, and corridors that weave through the historic heart of the city. As you wander through this ancient citadel, you'll encounter a network of charming homes with classic facades and winding paths that seem to have a story at every turn. The main street that runs up the hill from the port to the Castillo district is Via Roma. At the top of the hill, you'll find the monument to the fallen in the Wars of Independence, which is a significant landmark in Cagliari. This area is also known for its charming cafes, where you can enjoy a coffee or a meal while taking in the beautiful views of the city and the sea. The area is ideal for those who love to people watch, especially relax and enjoy a drink from walking up the hill. Plus, it's a great spot to experience the popular cuisine and flavors of the town. Strolling along Via Roma, you'll encounter an array of charming cafes and bakery shops that exude a warm and welcoming atmosphere. These quaint establishments, with their inviting aromas of freshly baked pastries and brewed coffee, create a perfect setting for a relaxing break. The beautiful building at the start of Via Roma, just before heading up the hill, is the Riasente Palace. Located at the corner of Via Roma and Largo Carlo Felice, this impressive structure is known for its symmetrical design and neo-Mannerist style decorations. It's a striking example of early 20th century architecture and adds to the grandeur of the area. We headed back to the Cagliari port gate so we could relax before dinner. Good night, Cagliari. Your sparkling lights fade into the horizon as we sail away, carrying the memories of your charm into the tranquil night. Good morning, and welcome to the port of Naples, Italy. Just an FYI, Italians call Naples Napoli. Napoli is the third largest city in Italy, following Rome and Milan. Naples is located near the only active volcano in mainland Europe, Mount Vesuvius, which you can see in the background. Mount Vesuvius is renowned for its catastrophic eruption in 79 AD that destroyed Pompeii and Herculaneum. We have an excursion to visit Pompeii. Groups gathered at the headliner before heading down for disembarkation. So again, have your cruise cards ready for scanning and be very careful exiting onto the gangway. Just follow the guides to the shuttle buses. The shuttle drive was about an hour and 15 minutes, but it was a scenic drive through Naples. The tour guide provided helpful information about the city and interesting facts about Mount Vesuvius in the distance. We arrived, and heads up, it's incredibly crowded. Pompeii receives approximately 4 million visitors annually. The peak seasons are typically April to October. Despite the crowds, Pompeii is absolutely worth visiting for its well-preserved ruins and fascinating history. Just bring your patience and enjoy the experience. There are several tour services to select from. Many provide audio devices during the tour because groups can be large. At entry, it can be challenging to stay with your group, but the tour guide is good about assuring everyone is together. Welcome to the ancient Roman city of Pompeii. It was once a bustling town known for its beautiful villas, vibrant public squares, and lively streets. However, in 79 AD, the city was catastrophically buried under volcanic ash and pumice during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. This sudden burial preserved Pompeii in a unique state, offering an extraordinary snapshot of Roman life. Here, we've entered the amphitheater of Pompeii. This ancient structure, dating back to around 70 BC, is one of the oldest surviving Roman amphitheaters. It was used to host gladiator combats and other public spectacles, and could accommodate up to 20,000 spectators. The amphitheater's design, with its tiered stone seating and open-air arena, set the standard for later Roman amphitheaters, including the Colosseum in Rome. Many of the walls in Pompeii are still adorned with frescoes and mosaics, providing a glimpse into the daily lives of the inhabitants. Pompeii's ancient roads are a remarkable feature that showcases the advanced engineering of the Roman Empire. The roads were constructed using large stone slabs, which formed a durable and efficient surface for the heavy traffic of the time. These stone roads were often sunken, creating channels for sewage and rainwater to run off and prevent flooding during heavy rains. At many intersections, you'll find raised stones known as pedestrian crosswalks. These stones allowed pedestrians to cross the streets without stepping into the often dirty or flooded roadways. The raised stones were strategically placed that matched the standard width of chariot wheels, ensuring that vehicles could still pass through the intersections without obstruction. As we approach our first house, you'll notice the entrance is marked with the name Cornelium, indicating the esteemed Corneli family that resided here. Moving forward, we enter the atrium, the central courtyard of the house. This open-air courtyard is surrounded by beautifully preserved frescoes depicting various scenes showcasing the wealth and status of the family. Adjacent to the atrium is a front bedroom, decorated with vibrant frescoes. Next to it is a reception room to receive guests or conduct business. The main room is spacious and is where the family would dine and relax. The walls are decorated with more frescoes. It's also the setting for elaborate dinners and social gatherings. Welcome to the Stabian Bathhouse, the oldest and largest of the 5 public baths in Pompeii. Stabian baths had a large open courtyard called the Palestra, which was used for exercise and sports activities. As we entered the baths, the ceilings were adorned with intricate stucco reliefs of geometrical patterns. I can still imagine the frescoes on the walls depicting scenes of mythological gods and goddesses. The craftsmanship of these decorations served not only to beautify the spaces, but also to convey cultural and religious narratives, adding to the ambiance of the bathhouses. The display case exhibits the preserved body of a young woman found in a corner of the Palestra. Her body, like many others in Pompeii, was encased in a layer of volcanic ash that hardened into a porous shell, capturing the final posture of the victim at the moment of death. Next, we're lining up to pass through the most famous brothel in Pompeii, the Lupanar, which means wolf den in Latin. The walls were adorned with frescoes depicting various erotic scenes, which served both as a decoration and as sort of a menu for the services offered. Pompeii was a bustling Roman city with a vibrant social life, and brothels were a part of that landscape. Even phallic symbols were carved into the stones, directing where brothels were located. As we make our way up on one of the main cobblestone streets, we see the remnants of shops and houses. Ahead, a social arena comes into view. Welcome to the Odeon of Pompeii, one of the city's most enchanting spaces. As we step into this open-air courtyard, our eyes are immediately drawn to the majestic statue of a centaur in the center. This powerful figure, half human, half horse, stands proudly with a spear in hand, symbolizing the strength, and mythological grandeur. Surrounding us are the elegant freestanding pillars that line the edges of the courtyard, providing a sense of order and harmony. As we move further into the courtyard, the vista opens up to reveal the imposing silhouette of Mount Vesuvius in the distance, looming over the landscape. As we begin our exit out of Odeon, we pass the Basilica of Pompeii, the remnants of one of the most important buildings in the city, serving as a venue for legal, political, and economic activities. One of the most remarkable aspects of ancient Roman construction is the use of large, precisely cut stones without the aid of modern machinery. The methods used to move these giant stones remain a subject of fascination and study among historians and archaeologists. As we make our descent out of Pompeii, looking beyond the ruins, we can see the companion mountain range. Below that is the modern city of Pompeii. At the entrance to ancient Pompeii is the statue of Daedalus, conveying strength and resilience. Daedalus is the mythological god of invention and creativity, a fitting tribute to the ingenuity and human spirit of the Pompeii people. The archaeological site of Pompeii covers approximately 170 acres. Excavations have revealed only about 2/3 of the city, with much of it still buried beneath layers of ash and debris from the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Our all-day tour only scratched the surface of what the ancient city has to offer. Good early morning, everyone. This is day 6, and welcome to the port of Civitavecchia, Italy. It's one of Italy's major ports, serving as a gateway for cruise ships and ferries to and from the capital city of Rome. We have another all-day excursion to visit the capital city of Rome. Our group met in the Escape Theater before moving down to Deck 4 for disembarkation. Our shuttles were waiting to welcome us on board to start our journey to Rome, which is about 50 miles or 80 kilometers away. So the drive was a good hour or so. Driving out of the port of Civitavecchia, we passed Fort Michelangelo in the background, a 16th century fortress built to defend the port from pirate attacks. As we near Rome, we pass the Pyramid of Cestius, an Egyptian-style tomb built around 12 BC for Roman magistrate Cestius. Next to it is Porta San Paolo, part of the ancient walls that once surrounded Rome. We're driving through modern Rome as we neared our arrival point. We had to make a quick pit stop at this cafe before starting our journey. Our hike starts on the road Via del Circo Massimo. It runs alongside our first landmark, Circus Maximus, an ancient Roman chariot racing stadium. It was the largest stadium in ancient Rome, capable of accommodating over 150,000 spectators. Facing Circus Maximus is the Vittorio Emanuele II Monument, also known as the Altar of the Fatherland. This grandiose structure was built in 1911 in honor of Victor Emmanuel II, the first king of a unified Italy. Scattered throughout Rome, you'll come across these iconic drinking fountains that provide free, fresh, and safe drinking water to both residents and visitors. They are connected to Rome's ancient aqueducts, ensuring a constant flow of clean, cold water. You'll also find hop-on, hop-off shuttles throughout Rome, which are a fantastic way to explore the city at your own pace. We decided to wander the streets on our own to see what ancient structures surprised us, and we were not disappointed at all. We stumbled across the Temple of Castor and Pollux, built in 495 BC and dedicated to the twin gods Dioscuri in Greek mythology. Next to it is the Arch of Augustus, built in 27 BC, a triumphal arch built to honor Emperor Augustus and his victories. We continued scouting the streets and alleys and found the Temple of Portunus, dedicated to Portunus, the Greek god of keys, doors, and livestock. Walking up via Luigi Petrocelli, we kept hitting one ancient structure after another. Casa di Crescenzi, a medieval house built around 1040. Basilica di San Saba, dating back to the 5th century. We finally reached the Theater of Marcellus, a remarkable ancient Roman theater. It was built around 12 BC by Emperor Augustus, and the theater could accommodate up to 20,000 spectators. There are remnants of former structures and scattered architectural fragments all over the place of various ancient structures that once stood. We came across the Portico di Ottavia, built around 146 BC. We continued wandering in an area called the Jewish Ghetto of Rome. We found clusters of cafes, came across the Great Synagogue of Rome, a 1904 Jewish landmark, and more baffling ruins. We decided to jump on a hop-on, hop-off shuttle to head to Vatican City. On the way, we passed the Coordinata staircase, designed by Michelangelo. The Coordinata consists of 124 steps, leading up to the Capitoline Hill. Directly adjacent to the staircase is the Capitoline Museums, which houses 3 main buildings: the Sanatorio, Conservatory, and the Nuovo. These museums are home to a vast collection of ancient Roman statues and artifacts. Capitoline Hill is one of the 7 hills on which ancient Rome was built, and is considered the political and religious heart of the city. Driving through the vibrant and historic streets of Rome is an experience like no other. As you navigate the city's bustling roads, you'll be surrounded by a tapestry of ancient ruins, grand churches, and charming piazzas. Rome's streets are a living museum. Our drop-off was a couple blocks from the Ponte Vittorio Emanuele Bridge. The bridge opened in 1911 and was named after the first king of a unified Italy and spans the Tiber River. In the distance is Castel Sant'Angelo, built around 123 AD and is the mausoleum for the Roman Emperor Hadrian and his family. This immense marble monument represents the virtue of loyalty to the Constitution, one of 4 on the bridge. We've come to the Road of Reconciliation, stretching 500 meters or a third of a mile, connecting St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. You can see the famous dome of St. Peter's Basilica in the distance, connecting to Castel Sant'Angelo. The Road of Reconciliation is open and wide, and what a fitting name, as we walk with the countless pilgrims and tourists towards the Vatican. I can't help but feel the hope of restoration and resolution within my own life. Stepping onto St. Peter's Square can be a spiritual experience. Vatican City is one of the most sacred and historically significant places in the world. Ahead lies the majestic facade of St. Peter's Basilica, with its grand dome designed by Michelangelo, towering above. The vast square, framed by Bernini's embracing colonnades, welcomes you with open arms, symbolizing the church's embrace of all humanity. We must save Vatican museums and the Sistine Chapel for another day. We only have but a few more hours to admire Rome before heading back to our shuttle. Our tour guide did warn that if you miss your return shuttle to the port of Civitavecchia, the quickest way back to the cruise ship is by taxi, which can cost at a minimum of 100 euros. Otherwise, you risk missing the ship. So let's go catch our hop-on, hop-off shuttle to finish our tour in Rome. The bus weaves through Rome's historic streets, offering glimpses of architectural wonders and the vibrant city life. We're now heading to one of Rome's most famous landmarks on Via del Triton, one of Rome's bustling and vibrant streets. The street is named after the Triton fountain in a nearby square of intersecting streets. Via del Triton serves as a commercial hub, with modern retail stores and traditional Roman establishments coexisting side by side. Tucked behind Via del Triton are secondary roads and winding alleys that lead to one of Rome's hidden gems, the enchanting Trevi Fountain, a Baroque masterpiece that's over 250 years old. This visit is during November 2024. As you can see, it's currently undergoing a significant restoration project in preparation for the Vatican's Jubilee year in 2025. At the center of the fountain is a majestic statue of Oceanus, the Greek god of water, riding a chariot pulled by two horses. One horse is calm and obedient, the other is wild and unruly, symbolizing the contrasting moods of the sea. To allow visitors to still enjoy this fountain during the restoration, a temporary walkway has been constructed around the lower basin. This walkway provides an up-close view of the fountain's intricate details. One of the most charming superstitions associated with the Trevi Fountain is the act of throwing a coin into its waters. Tossing a coin ensures that you will return to Rome one day. If you throw 2 coins, you will find romance, and 3 coins will lead to marriage. We're heading to our next and final landmark, which we must admire from our taxi as we head back to our shuttle's pickup point. You can see it in the distance, one of Rome's most iconic landmarks, the Colosseum. Constructed between 70 and 80 AD, the Colosseum was designed to host grand public spectacles and gladiator battles. The massive elliptical structure could accommodate up to 50,000 to 80,000 spectators and receives over 12 million visitors a year. We made it safely to our pickup point with time to spare and relax. We literally walked a good 5 to 6 miles today. We definitely plan to return to Rome to devote more time to these ancient landmarks. Welcome to the port city of Livorno, an important transit point and gateway to Florence and Pisa, Italy. Today is day 7, and the NCL Escape will remain docked in Livorno for 2 days to allow excursions to Florence and Pisa. We have a late morning excursion to visit Florence. By the way, we say Florence, but the locals say Firenze. It looks like most of the excursions headed out earlier this morning. It made it easier to find our group and head straight to our shuttle. The shuttle drive to Florence will take a little over an hour. It allows you to enjoy the scenic landscape and countryside. We passed vineyards and olive groves and quaint villages. Heading to Florence, we drove through the historic and charming city of Pisa. We'll see more of Pisa tomorrow. The tour guide said that we are now crossing the Arno River, which also flows through the heart of Florence. It's one of the most significant waterways in Tuscany. Our shuttle parked near the Santa Maria Novella railway station, which has served as a vital transportation hub for over a century. It also functions as a major transportation hub connecting Florence to other parts of Italy and Europe. Florence, Italy is the capital of the Tuscany region. Its population is just under 1 million people. However, Florence attracts over 5 million visitors a year. It's often considered one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Florence is renowned for its stunning Renaissance art and architecture. Our first destination is the Piazza dell'Unità Italiana Square. It's a vibrant and bustling area, reflecting both the historical importance and the modern-day life of Florence. We can see the obelisk of the fallen in the Wars of Independence, which was erected in 1882 to honor those who fought in the wars that led to Italy's unification. The square houses the Basilica of Santa Maria Novella. This stunning church is one of the most important Gothic churches in Florence. The square also features the Grand Hotel Majestic, a hotel that offers a glimpse into the city's past, and the Biblioteca della Toscana, which houses a vast collection of manuscripts and early printed books. The square has numerous hotels, cafes, and vendors, making it a relaxing and peaceful place to reflect. We headed down one of the side streets to admire Florence's timeless beauty. We followed the crowds to our next spectacular landmark, up the street. The city reveals the seamless blend of ancient structures and modern day, adding to Florence's timeless beauty. Up ahead, we're getting a peek of the Piazza del Duomo. The plaza itself is a bustling open space where tourists and locals alike gather to soak in the grandeur of Renaissance architectural masterpieces. In front of us is the Baptistry of San Giovanni. But dominating the square is the magnificent Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, better known as the Duomo. The intricate facade, adorned with marble in shades of green, pink, and white, stands as a testament to the artistic genius of the Renaissance period. The iconic bell tower is 85 meters tall, or 278 feet. Both the bell tower and the Duomo are covered in sculptures of Catholic figures. Facing the Duomo is the Baptistry of San Giovanni, one of the oldest buildings in Florence. The Duomo is also covered in intricate reliefs depicting biblical scenes and allegories. Construction began in 1296, and it took 140 years to complete, and is a testament to the artistic and engineering prowess of the Renaissance era. The iconic dome of the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore is an engineering marvel. It remains the largest brick dome ever built, an achievement that continues to astound modern engineers. We're now leaving the Piazza del Duomo to head to Florence's next artistic treasure, the renowned Galleria dell'Accademia. When we arrived, we were not surprised in the slightest that there was a line to get into the museum. It's the famous home of Michelangelo's masterpiece, the Statue of David. After clearing security and paying our 16 euros a person, we entered one of the most important art museums in Italy, attracting 1.5 million visitors annually from around the globe. This aisle, leading to the Statue of David, introduces Michelangelo's unfinished sculptures, known as the prisoners or slaves. Positioned under a purpose-built skylight, David is showcased in a way that emphasizes its grandeur and artistic perfection. The natural light streaming in from above highlights the intricate details of the marble, bringing to life the veins, muscles, and expressions that Michelangelo so meticulously crafted. Welcome to one of the most captivating rooms in the Galleria dell'Accademia, the Hall of the Colossus. This room is a treasure trove of sculptures, each telling its own unique story. There are numerous sculptures that span different periods and styles. These statues are arranged to highlight the evolution of Florentine sculpture, offering visitors a comprehensive view of the artistic development that took place in the region. We continued our journey through the Galleria, admiring the life-size paintings of Christ and other biblical interpretations. You could literally spend all day learning about and appreciating the artwork throughout the Galleria. We reached the Galleria souvenir shop, filled with a treasure trove of mementos and art-inspired keepsakes. We headed back to our shuttle as the day was ending in Florence. We hope to visit here again real soon. Welcome to the second day in Livorno. We're purchasing a bus ticket into downtown Livorno. While there, we'll purchase our shuttle into Pisa. The Piazza della Repubblica in Livorno is one of the largest squares in Italy. The square is lined with restaurants, cafes, and shops. In the square's center is the Chiesa di San Giovanni Battista. While we waited patiently for our shuttle to Pisa to arrive, we visited one of the many traditional cafes in the square and enjoyed people watching while savoring a couple of Americanos and sweets. Our double-decker shuttle to Pisa arrived at noon, and everyone started boarding. The drive to Pisa takes about 30 minutes, heading north along the coast. Approximately 1 million tourists visit Pisa every year. We arrived in Pisa at the Tour Bus Park, which has a small shopping center where you can find public restrooms, a convenience store, coffee shop, and souvenirs. The park does provide shuttle services into town for a price. We chose to simply follow the signs and make the short hike into downtown Pisa. You'll encounter lots of vendors along the way, as well as city maps. But it was much easier following the street signs, directing tourists to the iconic plaza. The walk was fairly straightforward and took about 20 to 30 minutes. We crossed a railroad and walked along and through a Pisa neighborhood. Before we knew it, we hit the lively market outside the high walls of Piazza dei Miracoli. The district is filled with vendors, charming cafes, restaurants, and shops catering to both tourists and locals. Facing the bustling market is the stunning Porta Santa Maria, a majestic white marble gate welcoming all to the Piazza dei Miracoli, also known as the Square of Miracles. However, the plaza is also formally known as the Piazza del Duomo. This is because the cathedral, the Duomo di Pisa, is the centerpiece of the square. We're taking it all in. It's absolutely breathtaking. Let's have a closer look. Straight ahead, you'll first notice the cylindrical baptistry of St. John, completed in 1363. It's the largest baptistry in Italy. Facing the baptistry is the Grand Cathedral of Santa Maria Assunta, constructed in 1063. The cathedral has the Latin cross design, the cruciform. Let's head to the far end of the plaza to visit one of the most iconic landmarks in the world, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. This freestanding bell tower is part of the cathedral complex. Its construction began in 1173 and continued for almost 2 centuries. The tower stands at about 56 meters or 183 feet tall. The tower's tilt is its most unique feature, caused by the soft ground foundation which couldn't support the structure's weight. Despite the efforts to correct the lean persisted, giving it a distinct inclination of about 3.97 degrees today. Unfortunately, because of time limitations, we weren't able to visit inside these living museums, but tickets are available for all structures. We enjoyed some afternoon coffee before heading back to the ship. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Cannes, France. We hate to disappoint you, but after several days of exhausting excursions filled with long walks, we decided to take it easy and relax on the ship instead of going ashore. We felt that a day of rest was just what we needed to recharge. During our cruise stop, we were able to gather that Cannes, France, is predominantly known for its luxurious lifestyle and opulence. This city is synonymous with upscale living, attracting affluent tourists with its high-end boutiques, 5-star hotels, and lavish yachts docked in the harbor. The iconic promenade with its designer shops and glamorous events like the Cannes Film Festival epitomizes the extravagant spirit of Cannes. However, this glittering facade isn't exactly what we're drawn to. So we decided to forego the shore excursion and enjoy the tranquility and amenities on the NCL Escape instead. Our deepest apologies, Cannes, France. Hopefully we'll get another opportunity to walk and appreciate your glamorous shores on a future trip. Good morning, folks. Welcome back to Barcelona, Spain, where our tour started. Sadly, today is disembarkation day. Although we'll be saying farewell to the NCL Escape, we'll be spending a couple days in beautiful Barcelona to tour the vibrant city. To efficiently disembark over 4,000 guests, the NCL Escape utilizes a color-coded system. Guests receive color-coded luggage tags the night before. Disembarkation occurs in waves based on these colors, preventing a chaotic rush. Listen for announcements over the ship's PA system calling for your color group. This staggered approach streamlines the process, making customs and baggage claim more manageable. With over 4,000 guests disembarking, transportation from the Barcelona port can be challenging. Expect long lines for shuttles and high demand for taxis. We arrived at our stay, the Hotel Arc La Rambla, on the famous La Rambla in Barcelona. It's the perfect location to explore the city. La Rambla is the heart and soul of the city, It's a long pedestrian-only street lined with trees, and it's always buzzing with activity. You'll find street performers, artists selling their work, flower stalls, and tons of cafes where you can grab a coffee and people watch. Off La Rambla is the Museo de Cera, the Wax Museum of Barcelona, home to a huge collection of incredibly lifelike wax figures of famous people. La Rambla opens up into the Santa Monica Square, encircled with elegant buildings and monuments. The square was busy and active. It helped that it was a sunny, beautiful day on the port of Barcelona. The port of Barcelona was lively and active as well. The docks were filled with tourists, sailboats bobbed in the marina, and kids chased the seagulls. You'll be welcomed by the historical landmark Juntas de Obres del Port, built in the 14th century. You can also see the massive Columbus monument from the port. Atop is Christopher Columbus pointing out towards the sea. It commemorates Columbus's return to Barcelona after his voyages to the Americas. We relaxed a bit and took in the views from the marina before heading over to the popular Rambla de Mar. This bridge connects the city center to a man-made island called World Trade Center Barcelona. It's a popular spot for walking, biking, and just enjoying the views. You can see the harbor, the city skyline, and amazing sunsets from there. We enjoyed our first meal at Amaya on La Rambla because the weather was absolutely perfect, which calls for special dining al fresco, and we love people watching. We topped it all off with our typical Americanos and sweet desserts before calling it an evening. The following day, I headed up La Rambla in the opposite direction, heading away from Port Barcelona. I stumbled across the famous La Boqueria Market, a bustling food market that's a must-visit for any foodie. Beyond the typical grocery market, the seafood and cured meats, you'll also encounter tapas bars and restaurants within. The market is enormous. So this morning's mission is to walk the 2-mile distance to the iconic landmark of Barcelona, the Sagrada Familia, but also to admire and appreciate the neighborhoods, the architecture, and the city life in Barcelona. Throughout Barcelona, you'll find the Gaudi style of architecture. Antoni Gaudi is the visionary of the Sagrada Familia, and his unique style defines Barcelona. His architectural style exudes decorative tiles and detailed curves, plants, and animals. Barcelona has a population of around 1.6 million people. Before the pandemic, it was estimated that over 14 million tourists visited Barcelona every year. We're getting close to our destination. As we come around this corner, we can see the towers of the Sagrada Familia in the distance. Interestingly enough, the cathedral is still under construction, even after over a century. The architecture is just mind-blowing, with intricate details and soaring spires. It's a must-see for any architecture buff or anyone who appreciates truly unique and beautiful buildings. Just be prepared for crowds, because this is a major tourist attraction. The line to enter the Sagrada was going to take a couple hours, and I still wanted to visit one more place. Welcome to the Port Vell aerial tramway. It takes you from the Barceloneta beach all the way to the Miramar Gardens viewpoint on Montjuïc Hill. It's a really cool way to see the city from above and get some amazing panoramic views. The tramway was built in 1931 and reaches a height of 107 meters, or 351 feet. The cable car holds up to 19 people, including the attendant. You'll share this tight space for about 10 minutes. That time shoots by when you're admiring the Barcelona landscape. The round-trip cost for the tramway was about 20 euros, and our wait was about 15 minutes before the cable car arrived. As we start our ride, right below us is the bustling Port Vell, Barcelona's old harbor. You can also see Barceloneta Beach with its Mediterranean vibe. It's a totally different perspective seeing it all from above. We've arrived at the Miramar Gardens on Montjuïc Hill, where the views are known to be breathtaking as well as peaceful. Aside from the lookout, the Miramar Gardens are a relaxing area to escape the crowds and the noise of the city below. It's a tranquil oasis amidst the bustling city. Every corner of the garden has a place to unwind and enjoy some stunning scenery. I visited the Terrassa Miramar for a latte and tiramisu to top my day off in Barcelona. It was an incredible experience that I'll never forget. So, time to head back, and luckily, I got the cable car all for myself, well, including the attendant. I was able to move around freely to capture the panoramic shots that I wanted. That pretty much wraps up our Barcelona adventure. Barcelona, Spain has truly captured my heart. I am sure to return to keep exploring this beautiful country. So, if you're looking for a fantastic Mediterranean cruise vacation, this Western Mediterranean cruise on the NCL Escape might be just what you're looking for. We had an incredible time on the cruise and captured our experiences in a way that will hopefully help you decide if such a tour is for you. I've done my best to provide informative and helpful narration throughout the trip, so you can get a real feel for what it's like. This video has chapter markers for each day and port of the cruise, making it easy to navigate to the sections you're most interested in. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more travel adventures, and leave a comment below with any questions you have, or let me know which port you liked best. Thanks for watching.